Good morning, church. Last week we attended the marriage enrichment camp at Gorai as a couple. There were many couples that were there, though it was difficult for us to go because Marianne had her work, but we decided that we want to go and attend this camp and invest in our marriage. And I'm very happy to tell you that it was a wise decision. It was a good decision that we went. We learned so much about marriage and how to enrich marriage. Some takeaways that I would like to share is five languages of love in a marriage. How do you show the language? What are the different language of love that you show to your husband or your wife? And I would also like to share about the needs of a husband, the needs of a wife. We learned it specifically, and a vision for our marriage. What is our role? What is a role that God has assigned to a husband and the God has assigned to a wife? The governmental order, God's governmental order in marriage, and what is your role towards your parents, towards your children? It was a power pack session. It was really, really great. And yeah. So specifically with me and Marianne, I would like to talk about my changes first. So before attending this camp, I was not sure what I'm going to get from this camp, but I went with a lot of expectation. So post going there, so one specific change that I took away from this is showing my love to my wife. I may express it in a certain way, but is it the same way that she would want me to express my love to her? So understanding her love language, understanding what we want from this marriage, we have noted down a vision for our marriage. Okay, what is the vision that we want to have as a family? What is the vision that we have as a couple for our marriage? That is something specific that came to us. And towards the end, the session also covered about RAS or RAS, which is romance, affection, and sex. How you need to, enjoy this within your marriage. So all of these were very much informative for me, and we have taken a lot of things from them. I've just shared a few with you. And also, while we were attending the session, we were discussing with each other. So God also spoke to me how I can encourage her and how I can be with her. So while I was while I was there, it was a very small thing that I asked her, "What do you want me to do for you? How do you want me to express my love for you?" She just said very basic. You know what? She just said, "I just want you to be with me in the kitchen and talk to me when I am cooking a meal for you." So it's a very basic thing, right? I mean, it's I never thought about it. This is something which came alive during the camp, and I think it was fabulous. Giving flowers. I never understood the logic behind giving flowers, but this is some first time that I understood. My wife loves flowers, so I need to admire that love language, and I need to do that for her.
Good morning, church. Uh, I think Jimon has covered everything that I wanted to say, but I'll still share what I took away from this camp. And the first thing that stood out for me was I always lived or had this mindset. I had living in a very confined space with certain thoughts, but then I still went with an expectation of coming back with something new, which was very exciting for me. At the same time, I was carrying this baggage in my mind with a lot of thoughts, thinking that I don't know what am I going with and what am I going to come back with. But somewhere I thought that there's something new that I'm going to come back with. And the first thing that stood out for me was agape love is a decision and not a feeling. Sometimes we think of so many emotions, love, hate, dislike, so many things in the world. But then at the end of it, it's us who needs to make a decision whether we want to love or we want to hate or stay with dislike. For me, now it's no more feeling. It's a decision that each one of us, I would encourage to decide on whether you want to take the road to like, to love, or to dislike. Second thing that we learned was, as Jimon mentioned, the 5 languages, where we need to inculcate every day in our lives, which would help us. The first being words of affirmation. Do we encourage each other every day? Do we speak kindly to each other? Which is very basic, but sometimes in our daily lives, we are so busy, we forget to do these things or we just overlook them. But they are so important each day if we practice this. The second would be quality time. Do we spend that quality time with each other, with your spouses? Do we plan times with our spouses? Do we take these little times out of our busy schedules, like going out on a date, which doesn't need to be expensive, just going out for an hour, taking out some time? Then acts of service. Do we help each other? Like Jimon mentioned, that, my expectation from him was, if, just those little times when I'm in the kitchen, if he can just stand and talk to me or probably help me out in my daily chores, that would be so helpful. Little gifts, like, doesn't have to be expensive. Maybe a rose will make women happy. I think everyone likes flowers here, all the women. So these are the little things that make a difference in our marriage. And if we practice every day and if we make a vision for our lives, for our marriage, I think it's only going to enhance our marriage. We learned something about conflict situations also and how do you handle them. We had these exercises that helped us understand each other's likes, dislikes, the responsibilities that we take in our lives, and how we are responding to these things. These are so important and so beneficial for our marriage. I am so thankful to David, Lynn, Colin, and Nawaz. And thank you, Nigel and Desiree, for sending us for this. It was really helpful, and I would encourage so many couples to go for this. You need to experience this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And for those who are in Orlam, please send me a flower vendor's number.